You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
So there's an update to the story we've been telling you about out of Syracuse University. Students have been protesting the university's handling of over 26 racist, anti-Semitic, and bias-related incidents that have occurred at or near the school since early November. The protesters began occupying one of the buildings on campus on Monday. School officials placed more than 30 #NotAgainSU organizers under interim suspension on Tuesday morning for remaining in the building past closing, allegedly violating the campus disruption policy. 23 students were protesting in the building as of Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, Chancellor Kent Syverud lifted the interim suspensions filed against protesters, saying, "These students are afraid they will be arrested, and I am not going to let students be arrested and forced out." So where do we go from here? Let's bring in the panel. You know, what's happening in Syracuse is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, you know, what happens now that you have students that are trying to protest, but they find themselves running against the rules, which oftentimes happens in protest, right?
That's kind of the point.
Right. And this is, I think that this is important that it's happening because we are benefactors of so many people who did the same thing and even in a much greater way with much greater constraints, right?
Right.
So it was literally life or death. And I think what every generation needs to understand is that there is a fight that has to continue. I think it is very unfortunate that they are really, and this is just what it is, particularly along with Black and people of color lives, is that to have to face white supremacy and not even be have matriculated from your school yet and be in your job. But this is what that is. And then shame on Syracuse, but understand that we're not talking about the South now. We're talking about Syracuse, New Jersey, where you had 26 racist incidents happen, but then you juxtapose with who's actually being punished and the way that they're being punished, right? So I think that these are important lessons for those students, again, to understand that this is kind of the legacy of the fight that has to continue because they have to be very mindful of the students that are coming behind them. But then also to understand that protest met with other pieces does affect change. It does actually call leaders to the carpet, and that's just something that every generation has to continue in that vein of.
What's happened with, have y'all read what's happened with the actual perpetrators of these? Have they caught any of them? If so, what's happened to them?
Yeah, I've read that they found a couple of them. They were disciplined, but that was very hush-hush, right? I mean, that didn't come out until after. Now they're trying to kind of CYA right now.
Right.
But I think it's very telling what is considered disruption.
Right.
Disruption is people peacefully protesting in a building, not white supremacy, violence against people of color, against students. That is not an environment that any student should be subjected to, period.
Right.
But that's not disruptive enough for the people that think that you need to write tickets and you need to, suspend people and all this other kind of stuff. And I think that the chancellor did kind of the right thing because he was like, well, for now, I will lift these suspensions. For now, I'll use my discretion. That is not an unequivocal message of support with these students.
Right.
That is not an unequivocal message of support of we're going to make these changes, these tangible changes right now. So he needs to be held even more accountable. This is kind of like lip service right now. It's like putting a Band-Aid on it, probably hoping that things will go away. And I'm so sick of people wanting us, and I mean, I'm not there, but you know what I mean, Black people to protest in a way that doesn't offend their sensibilities.
Right.
Even though us walking around in a hostile environment offends our state of being.
Right.
So we need to start trying to bridge that understanding where people understand that white supremacy is disruptive to us.
Right.
And that should not be okay with you.
Absolutely. And I don't think that that's something that's going to be solved anytime soon because white fragility, right? Even when we look at the way that, and this has been brought up over and over again, the way our primaries are constructed, you're talking about major polling was done on two of the whitest states, right? Whose delegate count, I mean, when you think about South Carolina, when you think about the states that have the largest population of Black folks, it does not even, it's not equal. Some of the states blow them out. And so it is that white fragility, it is making sure that things are tailored around whiteness and white sensitivity. So, for the students, I hope, again, that this is something that they just really kind of like understand that as unfortunate as it is, this is actually a part of Black life, and that they are able to really push forward in ways that really do, especially with the advent of social media, does call, attention to what's happening in Syracuse, as I just want to continue to point that out, that this is not something that is regional, that this is something that is all across our nation.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, we've been having hate crimes, for example, go up in this nation every year since this thing was running for president. So it is something that proliferates our culture, and I'm hoping that the chancellor bears out some real punishment to the perpetrators.
Yeah.
Because the only way you stop this is you make an example out of people.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that they have enough kahunas to do that.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Are you looking to enhance your leadership or that of your team in 2020? Join our newest online course and mastermind group, How Successful People Think. Dr. Jackie Hood Martin will be your guide as you learn timeless leadership principles to apply to daily living. The offer expires February 28th. To register or start the online course, go to www.live2lead.com/Leesburg, www.live2lead.com/Leesburg.
Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.